Good up.
This is Channel 253.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain podcast.
Everybody seems to go crazy for like the really interesting Japanese brewery who's bringing like really cool stuff. And actually, there was a few, like I think that's 16 international breweries this year, including Beerfest.
Yeah, did you meet him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Whooped that motherfucker's ass in cornhole too. Which felt
playing cornhole.
really
Terrifico.
I know.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. My name is Matt McClare, and I'm here as always with Ron Swinger.
Hello.
How's it going, Ron?
It's going really well. Can't wait to hear about the Burning Man for brewers. It's going to be exciting.
This is true.
One of these years I'll make it.
Next year.
Next year.
Press
It was
pass
on
next year.
fire.
Okay.
Media pass.
Yeah.
I saw some. Anyway, never mind. We can totally do this. Bethany Carlson, how are you doing today?
Hi, good.
Resident pro brewer and line cleaner specialist. Actually, this is separate. Sorry, off mic. I have Tacoma Beer Week stuff I want to ask you before you leave today. Can you remind me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, how are you doing?
Good. I'm great.
Good.
Yeah.
Bethany and I both missed the festivities this weekend, but I'm excited to get a recap from you guys.
Yeah.
And the videos were absolutely amazing. Phaedra's on the mic. How's it going, Phaedra?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
And then Doug, how are you doing today?
Sunny and bright.
Actually, this is very nice out, actually. Yeah.
He's sunny and bright, right?
You're sunny and bright?
I'm sunny and
good.
bright.
Yeah.
Good, you.
Citrus
It's also sunny and bright.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sans guest today, but Phaedra and I both kind of mentioned that we wanted to recap Firestone Fest, which is one of the biggest, most popular beer fests on the West Coast, but also just in the country. And we both were down there. And then you guys were at Washington Brewers Fest this past weekend and got to recap that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Plus there's some random beer news. So we figured it was a good one just to hang out and chat. But before we get into that, Ron, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Trillium Scaled Hazy IPA, and it's amazing.
Love seeing Trillium around here. Bethany, what do you got?
Ferment Desert Island Pale?
Desert Island,
Pale
yeah.
Ale?
You got
Yeah.
it.
It's really good. It's like a amber. It's like an amber meets an IPA.
Looks like
A
mayonnaise.
hoppy amber.
Nice.
Or, yeah, it's really good. It's really nice.
Pretty color. I like it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a pale burr.
Pale burr. Yeah. Yeah, that one works. Favorite. Oh, you don't have any.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
You have water.
Drinking water.
Matt, what are you drinking?
It's a very light ale.
Doug, you
Are we
too?
gonna? What are we doing first? What's the plan? Do we have one?
No, we're just
Okay.
fucking hanging out.
What are you drinking?
Oh, you have stuff?
Phaedra's going to the well.
I raided my what was left
Oh.
of my stash.
You can start talking about Firestone.
So I brought some things.
If it comes in a box, you know it's good.
So yeah, so that's why I'm not drinking because.
I love this beer so much.
So anyway, and then I brought my glass from the thing, and I brought my my plate that they give you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Which is
that.
like, I mean, they know how to do it.
So they gave you plates, but really they were fans.
Well,
And
there's
everybody
that
was
too.
using them as a fan.
Yeah.
Nobody was
Yeah.
eating.
It was insane. So that's the one that I brought back with me.
Yeah. This is between 2 grams if you're just listening. And it's Firestone Walker's Drake Dis that they brewed.
Yeah, and then I just raided my cellar. which is just a tote in the bottom of my basement or
Of
whatever.
your shoe closet.
No. It's actually in the basement. So
That's good.
yeah. But anyway, and then just I had those left over somewhere.
Well,
so anyway, so it's a Firestone Walker.
Flight. I guess
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That makes sense
So
now.
that's why I got everybody
That's very nice of you.
taster.
Thank
So
you.
yeah.
So you're opening them now?
Yeah. As soon as I don't have an opener, or actually I do on my.
Leave it to Matt.
I won't even cut
Which
myself.
first?
No.
Parabola.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
So-
Jesus.
Yeah, how long ago was this now, the festival?
It was 3 weeks. 4 weeks.
When did we go? We
It
went.
was about a month.
It was hot there.
It was, dude. It was unbearably hot.
It
At least for me.
It was uncomfortably, unbearably, really, really hot.
Yeah.
Off topic. I was just in Minneapolis over the weekend, and
Yeah.
that was a little bit melty.
Dude,
Humidity of like
Yeah.
1,000%.
that sucks. That's the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
It's like
So it wasn't humid where we were. It was
Yeah.
just, I mean,
Hot.
on the festival day, what was it, like 95 or something nuts? It was just, I would have drank a lot more if it hadn't been so hot. It was really, really
Well,
hove
good for you.
Yeah.
You could have justified that the other way. Like,
I could have,
well,
but I
it's
just
time to
was
drink
like, I
more
know
'cause
how
it's so
this
hot.
feels the day after. And so I just kind of, yeah.
so. Yeah, it was super hot.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you, Bethany.
I didn't. Well, actually, I was gonna say we could talk beer news first. There's really
Okay.
not a lot of beer news.
Okay, we can do beer news first.
However,
Yeah.
if you guys are following along, you might have seen that Silver City posted just a few days ago that they've officially sold to Ackley Brands, which seems like a big shakeup. It doesn't feel that crazy anymore because there has been a lot of that going on. So every time more news of consolidation happens, it's just like, is that insane, Doug?
It is so good. It's crazy.
Parabola is still,
Yeah,
cheers.
cheers.
Thanks, Phaedra, for bringing bougie stuff so we can embarrass ourselves for episode 2.
Stupid good.
Isn't that what we do? Isn't
Yeah.
that our brand?
Yeah, this beer's still amazing. So yeah, if you've been following along, you might have seen Silver City's announcement. If not, breaking news. But yeah, if you remember a few years ago, Mac and Jack's kind of infamously announced that they were also selling, which was, I think, kind of big news at the time. That seemed really unusual. They've been around for forever. Their beer is very iconic. However, that also means that it is very attractive brand assets to an investment firm like Ackley Brands. And that's what Silver City is too. It's we were talking. So we had, if you guys remember, for Tacoma Beer Week, we had Scott on, who was the sales director for Silver City, and we were trying to figure out if there was another brewery of that size that was still independent and still operating for as long as they were, and it was just about 30 years. I think it's about their 30th birthday.
It is.
And Scott was like, "Happy birthday to me!" Sold his brewery. So yeah, on pretty much right up against their 30th anniversary, sold to I think at least I don't know a lot about Ackley Brands. I know that they're locally owned, but they're still a big kind of holdings company. Yeah. And as far as I know, they're growing and have some plans to acquire more assets as time goes. Mm-hmm. There's rumors about sports teams returning and them being really involved with that.
Oh.
So
they have wineries too?
Wow. They do have wineries, yeah.
That's funny because Ackley owned the Sonics back in the day.
I was like, wait a minute, that sounds
another A.
Yeah.
It's almost the same, but not
totally
Ackley.
Ackley,
yeah.
So yeah, it's obviously that's all just speculation. But if you think about the long play, if you're planning on investing any sort of significant amount into sports teams or stadiums, controlling all of the production of all the consumables that are sold at those places is probably a pretty good way to print money from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty big news. And it sounds like most of the folks are staying on at Silver City, which is awesome. A few folks, it sounds like they let go just because they either had their own sales folks or maybe they won't be doing as much R&D. It sounds like maybe Enid isn't there anymore, but I don't totally know. But yeah, mostly stuff's not changing a whole lot. It sounds like Scott's still there, and I saw Mike today, and he was like, honestly, things are really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to stick around, and beer's going to taste the same. And
yeah, for sure. Ian's still there, as far as I know, so he's going to do a great job. But yeah,
this is the only brewery that Ackley has acquired.
so it's these guys. It's this and Mac and Jack's.
Oh, and Mac and Jack's. Okay.
Yes.
so can you get Charles Smith at Silver City now?
That's. I know. It's honestly, it feels very similar to the Fremont Pike situation. Who's like they're both owned by Seattle Hospitality Group, so it's like sort of legacy-ish brands that have been around for a long time that have established. Like if you're buying a brewery, you're probably not buying a brewery that's really well known for like changing things all the time and being innovative. You're buying a brewery that has established brands that everybody knows: Tropic Haze, African Amber, Inner Urban, Lush, all the like Seattle or Space Needle.
Space Needle, Kill Lifter.
XXXX.
Yeah.
Stout.
Quintuple X stout. So yeah, you're buying like brand assets basically, and those breweries spent decades establishing those.
Yeah,
things,
it only takes 30 years to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone out there is
No big deal.
hopeful to get bought out one day before they die.
I know, for all the breweries who are just now celebrating their 10-year anniversary, because it seems like
Keep on going.
20 more years, guys, you fucking got this. You're 1/3 of the way there.
Yeah.
Probably it tastes delicious.
I know, right?
I know.
It's so good.
So being down at I actually don't drink a ton of Firestone, like, in my free time. It's not a brand that I carry anymore, though I did sell them. But, like, being down there, obviously, you do just kind of drink it because that's, obviously, they're taking care of everybody and they have a lot of their beer out. Their beer is still phenomenal. It's still great. And I feel silly having to go down to fucking Paso and remind myself of that once a year, but I do it real hard.
Do we need to start the fuck up stories now?
Honestly, I don't think I fucked up a whole lot while I was there.
No tents were harmed?
No tents were harmed. No, we didn't camp this year. We got a fucking hotel.
You have all your teeth.
Have all my teeth. Didn't lose my partial. Honestly, did not get super. I honestly didn't drink a whole lot, mostly because of last year.
I think the heat, for me anyway, played a part of it personally. But
It was so fucking hot.
it just like I said, I drank probably half of what I would have drank.
Yeah.
On
So you
festival
skipped some of the
day.
dark-
Just-
dark stuff.
Well,
Or did
because
you?
it's me. I didn't really.
Right.
But it just it's like I'm just not gonna.
Yeah.
I just was like I don't want to be that person.
Even though everybody else was fine being that
Everybody
person.
else, yeah, was fine with. I just was like, nah, I can't. I
Yeah,
can't-
the
I can't do
Firestone
it to
video is
myself.
amazing.
Yeah.
They did a
Yeah.
good job on that.
They just have this whole thing dialed in.
Yeah.
I mean, from the whole entire weekend, everything
It's amazing.
figured out.
The opening is like a running event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just the one day, the Saturday, right? So there's the block party on Friday, where you can go to the brewery and they've got the street blocked off, and there's live music, and you can go get a tour of the brewery, and they, of course, the restaurant's open, so you can eat and get, flights of beer, and they've got merch and all kinds of stuff going on, and everybody is just excited to be there. The staff is all excited and jazzed for the whole event and having a great time. And then Saturday's the event, and then Sunday there's breakfast at the brewery again. So you go back.
With the option to do
breakfast.
another brewery tour if you feel
Yeah,
like it.
yeah. And, do breakfast there, and then they just have. We did do the tour, and it was like quick and dirty, and the guy was just like, if you want the real thing, you got to come back on not this weekend. Any other day, but not this weekend. So, don't come at me, because this is just the quick and dirty, and, he was just going through and
We
everything.
were talking about that, and like I always feel for like the folks. So like, there's 10,000 people that come to this goddamn event, and half of them want to do the brewery tour. Firestone they're a huge company, but they only have a certain amount of employees.
Yeah.
So like, for sure, there's like the tap room opener who came in, and somebody was like, hey, can you give a 45-minute tour in 10 minutes? And they're like, fucking what? No.
I got to put towels out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like,
No, I
there's,
cannot.
and like nothing against any of them, but you can totally tell.
Yeah.
And like, most of us are there. If you're doing the tour, you're probably in the industry. You know exactly what's going on. It's all good. I kind of just want to see how big these tanks are.
Yeah.
I want to check
Yeah.
out the barrel room and
Exactly.
like smell that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
even need to talk, man. Just walk me around and open the doors.
Just point at
Yeah.
a few things. And
Any nails pulled?
what's that? No.
Damn.
No. No.
Just ruin the next batch of parabola for no reason.
Did I do that?
No, they really do cover, they do cover every base. And that's, they do, Phaedra did all the cool, normie stuff that you get to do. But
Regular people is what I say.
all the muggles hung out on Friday at, the WUG. But, for brewers who roll in, a day early, they do, Thursday night events. They usually, reserve out a restaurant and, do taco night and, have a bunch of fantastic beer on tap, which is amazing. They definitely go all out to take care of anybody who is there, as a brewer. And it's nonstop. Yeah. They buy out the water park and you go and float on the river and drink a bunch of fucking Pivo pills just floating on the lazy river for 6 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I drained so much sunscreen trying not to die.
Yeah.
So when I go, I go as part of the Yoho team. So they get invited every year. They've done it 7 or 8 years now, and it's those guys are always really cool to hang out with. And I don't know what it is, but they're so goddamn popular. We sell them up here and they're great, and we sell a ton of their beer. But everybody seems to go crazy for the really interesting Japanese brewery who's bringing really cool stuff. And actually, there was a few I think they had 16 international breweries this year, including Beerifico.
Yeah, did you meet him?
Yeah,
Nice.
whooped that motherfucker's ass in cornhole too. Which felt
playing cornhole.
really
Terrifico.
I know. I was just gushing about you, I don't know, a couple of months ago on a Pilsner episode. I didn't tell him this, but it was funny because we were playing cornhole real hard and fucking washed him. And then shook his hand, told him I loved him, and tried his beer on draft. It was absolutely incredible. Tebow Pills on draft anywhere is incredible. Yeah. And he was kitty corner from
really
me,
close.
and so I could just sneak behind and be hey, you gonna pour that, and it was amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. But yeah, lots of we met a crazy brewery from Finland that was doing a bunch of cool stuff. There was another brewery from Japan there. There was
There was Open from Denmark was there, right?
yes, yeah. So much cool stuff. And then just obviously the local California breweries that come are incredible. Right. We had Humble Sea on our left, and then Cloudburst actually hung out with Steve on the right. Mm-hmm. So I was right next to him the whole time.
He was on our plane.
Was he?
Yeah, I ran into. Our flight got delayed, and so we were at the bar, of course, because what do you do when your flight's delayed? And I was like, hey, that's Steve. And so I went around the corner, and then the Single Hill kids were there too, and just everybody was just hanging out, and because everybody was on the same flight, so just
sure,
reading
that makes
and
sense.
So
it was nice to see a couple more Washington breweries up on the list this year too.
Yeah, and Bale Breaker.
How many years has this been going on? How many years have I
Great
missed
question.
this?
I don't know. Maybe Ron has it in his notes.
I don't know, actually.
I
Probably
should know
since
this.
God, no.
Sounds real cool. I remember
Over
talking about
10
it last
years.
year also, and I was like, oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it
Doesn't sound any less cool. Yeah.
Yeah. They just do. And that's why the tickets sell out so quickly. If you want breweries to come to your festival, this is obviously only possible for somebody like Firestone, who just has unlimited money. But if you want people to buy tickets to your festival, you have to give great breweries a reason to also come, and I feel like those guys do that.
Yeah.
Festival of Dark Arts does that, but it obviously takes a long time to establish that sort of thing. There's stories of old versions of this where it was just 16 breweries coming, and now it's 70, and they're all unbelievable.
so cool. Yeah, everything that I had was delicious, and the lines for some of the. I didn't get to Garage Project, or I didn't get to...
New Zealand brewery, or Australian brewery, Garage
Green
Project.
Cheek, and there's just so many that I didn't, because I just wasn't about to do the long line in the hot sun, and I got lucky with Horace because there was just a break in the line where I turned around and there wasn't a whole lot of people, so that was my favorite beer of the festival.
I can't believe people were drinking Horace beer in 100-degree weather.
It was worth it.
It's already motor oil.
Worth
It's so good.
It was worth it. No, so I met Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
And yeah, he was lovely, and he's like, oh, well, you should have this. And I did, and it was worth it. He was right.
Green Cheek. So that's where Jeff Bagley is now, right?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Was he there?
I didn't see him.
There
They were on the
was
other side.
so many people on the line, and I was just like,
I know. Alchemist was there.
Yes.
A lot of East Coast actually, which was super cool. Like I didn't see Alchemist there the last year or two. But yeah, I mean, it's an entire fairground, and it's just so many breweries, and they're all amazing, and it's just there's no way that you can efficiently hit everything that you know you want to hit.
Yeah, no, it was overwhelming, and they have an app which is really cool, and you can make a wish list, and you can say where you've been, and they've got the map and the whole thing.
That's cool.
But I didn't. I had the list, and then I was just like, that looks good. I'm going to go over there. And then I'm like, oh, I'll remember that. I remember nothing. So I retain nothing. I retain absolutely nothing, as we've known over, the months and months of this. But I was just like, yeah, that's delicious. And then I would go off to the next thing, and I didn't check anything. I didn't check anything out. But, yeah.
So you do the actual festival is only like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Of like the entire weekend.
That's
it's just
amazing.
It's 6
It's so
hours.
short.
And
Yeah.
I mean, they pack so much in.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that.
Right. It doesn't feel like you're rushing around. I didn't think.
No.
I didn't have that feeling. Like GABF, you're rushing because it's such a shorter time frame, and there's the 2 sessions usually, and
That's
stuff
true.
like that. And
I also feel like GABF, like there's a bunch of great breweries that go to GABF, but it's the concentration of like unreal
for sure.
quality
Yeah, I mean,
at
it's
Firestone
different,
Fest is
but
so
yeah.
different. Like you pick any short line, and it's going to be incredible beer. It doesn't matter.
It's true.
Like Green Cheek,
Yeah.
Green Bench, Highland Park, North Park. Like obviously those lines are going to be crazy long. Because everybody who doesn't get to drink that stuff, who flew in for this festival, is standing in line for that shit for as long as they need to. But go to any short line, and it's going to be insane.
Any line.
So you just never feel burned with the amount of time that you're
For sure.
spending, and you don't feel like you're rushing. But
And the
yeah,
other
it's only
thing-
6 hours.
Yeah, the other thing I thought was great is that I think it's a requirement that it's like an owner or a brewer or it's somebody that's key with the brewery.
It's not volunteers.
There's not volunteers. So
Yeah, there definitely is no
Yeah, so when
I don't know if it's a
know,
requirement,
It's really
but like
authentic. I love
I
that.
feel like somebody said that, or maybe it's an expectation. Maybe that's it more
Could
than
be.
a true requirement.
I don't know,
But-
man. If fucking Matt Brindleson reaches out personally and says, "Hey, will you come to my beer fest?" You probably just
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like-
that's the thing. And so, but you're just, you're meeting, these key people that are telling you all about it, as opposed to a volunteer who may or may
That's
not
true.
know all the information. Like I just said a comment, somebody's like, "Are you taking care of it?" I'm like, "Yes, this gentleman over there has got my beer." And they're like, "Well, that gentleman brewed it for you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And so then we, chit-chatted and, so that interaction
100% true.
doesn't always happen at every festival, right?
True.
I mean, it happens at a lot of them, but not necessarily.
People are like, "I don't know what hops are in this. I
Yeah,
just fucking work
they're like,
here."
I don't know, or I'm just a volunteer. I'm just, pouring to help out for whatever. And so they just don't know the details and stuff.
And part of you was like, "Well, that's kind of dumb," but then part of you was like, "Thank you for being here."
Right. I mean, yeah, the beer is still delicious, so I appreciate you. So yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like to that point, that's why Will and Mari like showed up in person and poured last year.
Exactly.
Also,
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say this. So
Yeah.
Will and Mari were on. So this year we didn't have jockey boxes since we were pouring out of Japanese kegs. We had a truck set up. So you have a trailer behind you, and usually 2 breweries are using the truck because they have 5 or 6 taps. So that's what Will and Mari were on last year, and I was like doing a ton of the pouring, but I was like pitcher running, right? So like I don't want people to talk to me. I want people to talk to the actual brewers. And so like the actual owner was there, their sales manager was there, and then Rio, who's like their R&D brewer at Yoho, and she's been there she's only like, I think she's 30. She's been their R&D brewer since she was 25.
Rio out of Yoho.
Yeah. Yes. Yakima is her name, but she goes by Rio. But she was there too, and I want people to talk to them, so I'm just running pitchers, right? I'm running back and forth, filling up pitchers so that they can do that. And I was getting so fucking sweaty and like so tired. And I remember like
It's true, I saw it.
Yeah, Fraser was there. I took a picture with Mari a couple hours into the festival, and she still looked amazing. Like she's just stunning as usual. And I thought about it, and I was like, I know I look horrible right now. I'm so gross. I'm so sweaty. Like, how was she able to maintain this for however long it took before I came over and took a picture with her? And it's like insane. But yeah, to Phaedra's point, like the decision makers at the breweries, the actual brewers, the owners, they're the ones that show up. And so when you get a pour at Firestone Fest, it's usually from those people.
Yeah, that was, and I think that's why the festival goers enjoy it as well, is because you could get that extra little thing.
Are there events at the festival as well, or? Like, are there
So-
activities and stuff?
I was gonna say. So there are other like events. So like Phaedra mentioned, like the breakfast and like the there's like a welcome thing the night before. But there are like a ton of events that are just like for brewers. Like if you're coming as a brewery, there are events, and one of them is the after party. And you don't fucking get into the after party unless you have a card to punch. And it's like that's when media comes in.
I brought mine. I had to defend my honor. I did not sneak anywhere.
I'm like sweaty and gross. I'm not changed. We walked over to the campsite area, which is like where they do a dinner, and they have like DJs come in and live music, and it's like all the brewers hang out, wind down after slinging beer for 6 hours in 100-degree weather. Drinking the most alkaline water on the planet. It tastes like batteries run through a Jack LaLanne juicer. It's so fucking gross. It is not hydrating or refreshing at all.
No.
It just, you're licking rocks and being like, oh, I feel way better now. No, you don't. Sorry, it's a complaint.
It's valid.
I found out that a bunch of breweries
all
keg
Marcus
their
talked
own
about.
water
This
and
water is
bring it to
shit.
the festival, so they don't have to drink Paso desert water.
So bad.
That's why,
It
it's
sucks.
just the region that's so bad.
It is. Although out of it, there's a great brewery who kind of takes advantage and makes these fantastic dark beers just by using the alkaline water cut with RO water, Wildfields. They're absolutely amazing.
I went.
You did?
You
go.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So they take advantage in a great way, but otherwise it's horrifying. First
It is
world problems.
horrifying. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But so everybody's winding down at the Brewers dinner afterwards, and Leslie Shore was there, who I was not expecting to see. But then I was like, obviously it makes sense. It's Coldstream. She's a raw ingredients representative and liaison, so it makes sense. So it was great to see her. And so I walk into the Brewers dinner, and I'm like grabbing a plate. And I was like, hey, good to see you. Like, we can hang out. Like, we actually have a beer. She's like, yeah, did you see Phaedra? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, Phaedra's around here. And I was like, she fucking would be.
Hey!
She would be.
I had a pass. What?
And I was like, of course Phaedra's here. And sure as shit, who did you run into?
I mean,
Don't apologize.
Just whoever.
what can I say?
Yeah. So Phaedra got a pass from
did.
actually a previous podcast guest.
I took off any identification to not, divulge anything.
I definitely work with blah, blah, blah malting.
I'm like,
Your press pass looks like the Wandering Dawn beer, right?
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Phaedra snuck into the Brewers dinner and hung out with us for the night, which is where they had cornhole.
I had a pass.
I had a pass.
I mean,
Was Wandering
Leslie did
Dawn
too, but
an
anyway.
emphasis at the fest? Their new
Wandering
beer,
Dawn.
their new IPA.
Yeah, I think that was
Because
their.
that's what that looks like.
Yeah,
That was the first toast. So when you walk in,
Might have been festival beer.
you get
I think so.
you get you show them your ticket, and you get all the security and the whatever, and you get your plate and you get your glass, and then the first toast beer is kind of in the gathering spot before you actually get
Right.
into the
At the
actual
starting
event.
line.
Right. So they try to get as many people in, ahead of time before they actually open the gate or whatever for the regular start time. Anyway, but the first pour was the Wandering Dawn. So you go and you get the first pour, and you're drinking and waiting,
Yeah.
and then they open the gate and welcome, and then there's the walking down the
It's an Odell collab.
kind of it was good.
Yeah.
I love
Festival
Odell.
beer.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, we have a new beer in front of us, but we're gonna chug this real quick on this break. Hang out for just a second. We're gonna be right back.
Mezcal limon.
Greetings, listeners. Thank you for listening to yet another Channel 253 Podcast Network episode.
This episode is only able to happen thanks to the listeners who have supported Channel 253 with a membership of $4 a month or $40 a year. They help keep the microphones running. And if you appreciate what I really think is like a public service to the people of Tacoma, I hope you will support what we're doing.
Especially at this time when there's a mayoral race in Tacoma, and we're trying to cover that, as well as all the other things that we cover: food, beer,
Politics, moving to Tacoma, just the interesting people around town. We've got a lot to check out. So if you like what we're doing, visit channel253.com/membership. And thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out during the break. As always, a shout out to Doug, our wonderful producer.
You all.
Shout out, Doug.
Awesome every single week. And to Chris for putting us on video every week.
Yes.
2 bits of homework. Go to Channel 253 and check out fantastic local podcasts if you want to stay more connected to Tacoma. And go check out Great and Great Podcast on YouTube and subscribe and comment and do all of that stuff.
I will say, if you're a Tacoma resident, that we are having a mayoral section. We're having six interviews, one with each of the mayoral candidates.
Hell yeah.
Fun.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So compare
Yeah.
your mayoral candidates in Grit City.
Everybody's really into mayoral elections right now that
Yeah, that
Mamdani
New York,
is
yeah.
real popular. So if you want that kind of energy out here, go to Channel 253 because that's where you're going to find it.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, explain this beer to us real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Norwegian.
This is fascinating.
It's called, the brewery's called Homebregadegu. Yeah. It's from, as I said, Norway. It's their Norwegian wood smoked beer, aged in aquavit barrels.
Okay.
Nice.
And the smoke is subtle.
It's a
And it's
smoked
8%.
beer?
Yeah, and they're calling it a smoked beer, even though it has barley wine notes.
Okay.
Yum.
8%.
That's really
What kind of
interesting.
barrels did you say?
What?
What kind of
Aquavit.
barrels did you say? What's that?
Yeah, it's like a neutral, like Norwegian, like Scandinavian spirit.
Definitely popular in
It's
Denmark.
called-
They drink it every Sunday morning with brunch.
I call it the Caraway Caravan
There, it's that.
from experience.
I wouldn't say it's like too different than vodka, but it's like pretty punchy in its flavor.
Interesting.
Tastes like caraway.
I believe
Yeah,
Doyle's
Caraway.
has one bottle back there behind the bar.
Actually, pretty prominent
should
in
know.
this, the caraway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
This
like
is
some
really
orange and some, it's very interesting.
That's a deceptive 8% right there.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it would work for barley wine.
It's yummy.
Works for me.
It's very refreshing.
It's kind of effervescent. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be a little like a nice little salt character
Yeah,
to
it's
it,
just
kind of
different.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Norwegian wood smoke.
I know, right?
That's very good. That's very good.
And then this one.
Wait, what is that?
Oh, wait.
This is the French-
We're not talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
The
Mexican
Mezcal limon.
Never mind.
Limon.
Matt chugged his. We can't talk about it.
I did chug mine. It's pretty fucking good.
It's really good. Yeah,
Probably
I like
more
it.
The
than-
region of Oaxaca.
Yeah.
There you go. It's good stuff. All right.
It is good. Very much. I mean, like, just a lot of like almost margarita ingredients in like a barrel-aged beer, and it's delicious.
Yeah, the orange was what I got the most out of it. Was what came through for me the most was the orange. So I liked it.
This is amazing.
Did you try the Eureka food cart or food truck?
Eureka.
So what I
were
read,
they serving? Remind me what they were
I
serving.
don't know,
Oh.
but everybody online was saying that was the food of the day from Eureka. And it's a restaurant, not a Revelation.
I don't remember the different vendors, but if you told me what the food was, then I
That's
could
what
be
I
like,
remember
yeah,
too.
that was great.
Food good.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was what I was gonna
Out of
say.
Did you have
Revelation?
biscuits and jam? Did you have samosa?
Out of
There was some
Revelation?
pizza. There was some.
The book of the Bible?
There was like some.
It's like fire and brimstone.
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't invent it.
Oh my gosh. The food was the other part that was, again, they got it figured out. I mean, they give you the tray, which is awesome. And you just get in line and you just get food and you just eat when you feel like it. And then, go back and get in line for beer or you're hanging out. And they had the mister areas and the shade areas and water stations that were just all over the place. That was just really, really, they've just got it all figured out. I mean, they really do.
This could be very handy in the future, too, though, right?
Dude, that's why I brought it back
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them. Are you kidding
it
me?
back.
Just put it in my
Put
bag.
it
Yeah.
on your lap and
Yeah, it was awesome.
TV dinner on it.
Joey White
Got a
Lotus.
place for your glass. I mean, it's yeah.
So, can you demonstrate for the camera how the glass fits in
it
the?
just fits right there.
look
and
at
you're
that.
just Set.
Look
So
at that.
clever.
That's
Right?
dope.
It was just
People were handing me the whole thing, and I was like trying to just grab the.
Oh,
glass.
If you're listening to this, you want to go to YouTube just for this.
Yeah, they think of everything, and it's really, really nice. Marcus is hooked. He wants to go back next year. And I mean, we were there. He even found a job for me while we were there. He was just like, he's like, Firestone has a job. You could do that job. I'm like, wait a minute.
Phaedra, where did you stay? It looks kind of cool.
The Stables Inn, which was really, really cool. Not far from downtown, just
Okay.
a few blocks from downtown. Kind of a an old like a Route 66 kind of a motor inn kind of a thing where you drive in and there's and it's all horse themed and
Wow.
so it looks like horse barns and there's like steeples on top and hitching posts in front of each room and in the center they have fire pits and you can sit and they have the gas fire pits going literally all day long. They've got s'mores fixings in the
And Brett beers? Horse
Horsey.
blanket?
Yeah.
Jesus.
no horse blanket,
Okay.
but you get, they've got, because it's wine country, right? So it's really themed more for wine. So there's wine glasses in the room, of course, and in, wine opener and all the stuff. And they've got, you can buy, I think they even had some bottles for sale in the lobby or in the office or whatever. But you just would go and make your breakfast, just like yogurt or whatever, and like I said, the s'mores fixing and stuff. It was really cute.
recommend?
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It was super cute, and the one of the best parts was being able to at night just go and sit under this ginormous magnolia tree. It was huge, and with lights in it, and the fire pits going, and there's it's kind of it was really cool.
Nice.
It was really really fun. So, yeah, but we did a bunch of other stuff in Paso too, and that whole area. We went to the Madonna Inn. If you've never been, you gotta go. That place is insane.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's wild.
Yeah.
The extracurriculars on top of like Firestone is like part of it for sure. Obviously,
for sure.
like anywhere
make
you travel.
make a total trip of it and do all the things. Yeah.
But there's a
It's
bunch of
super fun.
brewers in the area, and so you just kind of run into folks wherever you're going. If you're going out at night,
Like Humble Sea.
yeah, like which is really cool. And like we're with Rio, who is like relatively young, like she wanted to go out every night, and like Toshi and I, like Toshi's not that much older than me, but we were like, yo, we're gonna go to bed. However, we were also staying with, so there's a hop broker based in Seattle. I don't want to call him out specifically, but there's a hop broker based in Seattle who's been doing this for like 30 years. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's probably in his 60s. Sweetest dude ever. But he was with us because he actually works with a lot of Japanese breweries, and he mostly does importing, exporting for hops and other raw ingredients. So he knew the breweries that we were with. We were kind of just traveling with him. My owner had a previous relationship with him. I had just met him. That motherfucker turns up like... nobody I have
Dude,
ever seen.
I'm there for that. I would have totally been there.
So I'm like, we're like standing in the like we're done with like night one. We had traveled, and then like the Japanese brewers are like, they're visiting and they want to fucking hang out. They like, it's funny because they want to just go to like Route 66 style bars. Like, what's the most American thing we can do with this time?
Yeah.
And Toshi and I are like, we're going to fucking bed. We're gonna get up early and like, do some emails and then get ready for like the thing.
Yeah.
And John is like, I'll go out with you guys, and he like walks around like all of Paso all night.
Did they go to the Speakeasy?
Probably. We did like a steakhouse. We came back from dinner from there, and then they ended up going back to just drink there.
Yeah.
And then like he went out with them every night.
No,
And
love it.
I did not. I
there
was like
there's
so
a Speakeasy.
lame.
We didn't make it, but there was a Speakeasy. In
Also,
town, so.
he is unusually good at cornhole, which is really funny. Like absolute sleeper, because he's just I don't know. He looks very unassuming, and he's like hanging out at Brewers Night. And after we beat the Beerifico guys, Rio, who works at Yoho, she's hilarious. So she speaks really good English, and I understand like a tiny bit of Japanese. But like we can talk really easily together. And so she's their R&D brewer, and like I gushed about her online because she's I would say like. We talk about it a lot, like how regional brewing cultures are going to like kind of separate themselves from traditional like American and European beer traditions. She, to me, like represents that transition really well. So like one of the beers that we poured, this is off topic, but one of the beers that we poured ended up being like one of the favorite beers of the day. It was the first beer we kicked, and it was a sake beer. It was just called sake, but it was a lager that was brewed about 30% of the way with sake yeast, which is really unusual. Like, there's plenty of breweries who use multiple kinds of yeast to ferment beer, and there's plenty of brewers who have used sake yeast to make beer. So she does a mash with like a huge percentage of koji rice and then ferments it about 30% of the way with sake yeast, and then they transfer off of that and then ferment the rest of the way with lager yeast. But they also use the brewed IPA enzyme to chop up some of the complex dextrins a little more to dry it out and push the ABV a little higher. So that's like a really weird combination of techniques. Most people are maybe doing one or the other to achieve a certain thing. So the reason that she does this is because the glucose that is produced from koji rice, I guess sake yeast is just really good at eating this. And if you have so glucose can come from malt as well, but sake yeast gets overwhelmed with the other complex dextrins. So you have to have like almost like a majority glucose to like get it to work the way you want it to and to produce these like really specific esters. And she figured this out. And so she ferments it halfway and then finishes the rest as a lager. So what you're left with is like this 6.5% lager, which is pretty fucking beefy. Like that's a big lager.
Yeah.
And it drinks like nothing. It is so light. I don't know if you had some. Did you have the sake or
What
did
was
you
the
have the
other-
yuzu?
I think I
You
had
had
the
the
yuzu.
Okay, I should have force-fed you the sake because I was like fascinated with this fucking
Although
beer.
it's possible I went back and got some more. I don't remember much, so.
But like you get left with this 6.5% lager that's so easy to drink and tastes like honeydew, and it's just like, and that's a really specific ester that's produced from sake yeast eating glucose. Sake yeast won't eat anything that's more complex than glucose, but brewer's yeast, lager yeast will, and it's such a like refined approach to creating a beer that is so specifically geared towards like a Japanese drinker's palate. Like nobody has the same relationship with sake that she probably has, being from Japan, and then also understands the techniques that you really need to like produce those flavors in a lager, basically.
Yeah.
And it was like unbelievable. So like,
That's wild.
yeah, she's
This is
incredible.
craft beer.
Dude, yeah, it was like
No.
if you want a good example of somebody who's probably going to like be the tip of the spear when like this kind of topples over and people really start changing the game in this way, it's going to be women like her. Like she's insane.
That's awesome.
And she's so smart. And she's fucking 30. Like that's there's no brewers here that are 30. And she's been doing this for 5 years. So yeah, I imagine the next decade there will be books written about the work that she does or the type of work that she does.
Yeah, that's really cool. Very, very cool. That's awesome.
So anyway, that was a tangent.
Can you score some of this lager for us?
I know.
I
I want it.
I'm working on it. We're actually trying to get some canned so that I can get some into the U.S.
Oh, that'd be
We're
awesome.
hoping to import some pretty soon.
That would be really cool.
100% one of the most fascinating beers I've ever had.
That's awesome.
What other beers did you like?
Oh, man. So I didn't get to drink as much as I wanted to. I got to take one good lap. I did go have, I went and had Hetty because Alchemist was there.
Yeah.
That was
Marcus
fucking
said
awesome.
that too. He's like,
yeah.
this is actually really good. I'm like,
No shit, Marcus.
yes, dear.
They invented this shit.
we actually sat with him at the
Oh, yeah, that's
after
right.
we sat for a while talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, that Hetty, that's really good."
Did he not think it
How
was?
are you raising
He didn't
this?
know what it was.
Keep making it.
How are you raising this boy?
You guys should do this all the time. This is great.
Good.
They were lovely. It was just so cute because he was earnestly, "It's really good because it is a really good beer."
I
but
normally like hazy, but
he
this
has
one's
no
pretty good.
idea. Yeah, it was really fun.
But they're the Godfather
Yeah, no,
style.
I mean, they were just like, but they were, like I said, they were lovely, and they, enjoyed his enthusiasm for it and stuff. Yeah, and then they had their dark. It's just called dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was delicious, and yeah, anyway, yeah.
Green Cheek, just like straight up West Coast IPA is unbelievable.
I didn't know that.
Ghost Town, like I had some Ghost Town on draft, was absolutely insane. They had like an experimental IPA that was on tap that was super, super good, like punchy, super aromatic. Like San Diego gets, people are like up that whole brewery scene's butt all the time, and like honestly for good reason. Like the aroma, the punchy aroma that comes from the IPAs, especially that those guys make, is just unmatched. Like there's only a few breweries in the Northwest that I think are like targeting what they're targeting in that way. Really, like I think Single Hill does a good job at that. I think Old Schoolhouse does a good job at that. There's a few, like, not to say that any of the other beers are bad or worse in any kind of way, but like they have this really clear focus, like very simple kind of grist in the mash, like almost no malt character and just all aroma, all hop flavor. And it's just so refined at this point because everybody down there is so good at it that when you have just a pale ale from like North Park or Highland Park or Green Cheek or Green Bench, like any of these breweries that are known for that, it just tastes like no hoppy beer you've ever had ever. And it's just insane. So yeah, part of my job down there was to woo those guys into coming up here so I can sell some of their beer to all of you.
Please.
Which I do have one in the works, so I'll let you know.
Very cool. Nice.
But yeah, it is. It's insane. I hung out with the Alchemist guys too, but I have for sure been emailing them like every other month. Like, hey, I'm from a distributor in Washington. I would totally ship your beer if you wanted.
They actually did mention you.
No, they did not.
Well, I mean,
Stop it.
We were talking.
Was the word annoying?
I know. Is that fucking idiot that keeps emailing us?
We were talking.
They didn't take the hint up for the sixth ignore. That dude's been on red for a year.
And I'm like, yeah, no, my friend Matt over there. And they're like, oh yeah, we met Matt. No, they were like I said, they were lovely, and
nice.
We had great conversation, and no, it was super fun.
Cool.
And,
Pedro, what was your favorite dark beer you drank?
The Horus barley wine. I could maybe look up and figure out what the name of it was, but. Kyle specifically, after him telling me what he had, one of them had coconut. And I said, yeah, that's not my favorite flavor in beer. And he's like, oh, well then this is what you need to have. And he poured me the barley wine, and it was delicious. Yeah. Absolutely delicious. And I said, hey, if you're ever in the Seattle-Tacoma area, we'd love to. I was super, and I think he's coming up. I think so.
Well, we're not going to make any promises.
Yeah.
No.
August is wide open.
Before she destroys.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, but yeah, that was my favorite for sure. Yeah. It was good.
That sound you were hearing, listeners, is
Yeah, I'm
Phaedra
sorry.
opening
Pedro folding a box right into the microphone.
the third Firestone walker.
My bad. Sorry.
No.
Before it gets too late, though, because we obviously
we have been talking about this a lot.
I would love to talk about Washington Brewers
Yeah.
Fest.
That was fun.
So
It was
hopefully
fun.
you guys are following us on YouTube, on Instagram. Ron, Chris, and Phaedra tackled that whole festival, and were the actual media outlet for the Brewers Guild that weekend.
We had a good time.
It was
Dude,
fun.
those videos are so fucking good. I'm like so sad I missed it, but I feel like I can live pretty vicariously through some of that. And like you guys talk to so many people, and like the answers to some of those questions are so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
There's
So
going to
yeah,
be more. Stay tuned, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think there's
you did a bunch of questions.
one or two more questions.
for sure. So yeah,
And then the whole wrestling thing.
explain what you guys were doing there.
The Washington Brewers Guild invited us to hang out at the festival and chat with brewers, and all the brewers were very welcoming. And, you have your taster glass.
Sick.
Pedro.
I brought props. Yeah.
You've got all your
Nice.
prizes.
All my things.
I feel like there was the same amount of people as last year, although inside was not a thing. They had a row of 6 or 7
Yeah.
in the front,
Yeah.
but everybody else was outside.
Yeah, Shauna mentioned
It was a
that
nice
she kind
day,
of
though.
made a point to push people more
Yeah.
outside.
So it's hard to judge the crowd because
Yeah.
so many were inside
Yeah.
last year. but
Right.
it feels kind of close. Everyone had a great time.
I think so.
The weather was, perfect.
Amazing, yeah.
Perfect, because it wasn't
Yeah.
hot or.
Yeah. It
Wasn't
was
rainy.
It
trying
rained
to
in the
spit
morning,
a
but it
little
was
bit,
fine.
just a little bit, but yeah. It
Everyone was having a good time. Lumberbeard probably had the biggest line because of the barley
The
wine
2
that we
o'clock.
drank on air, 4 times?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You guys
Hellbent,
hear us talking about that barley wine all the time. I'm so glad people
It
got
is,
to try
yeah.
it.
Hellbent said that they had a good line for their barley wine, too.
Oh,
And it was
sure.
delicious.
Yeah.
That was our barley wine.
That's what we
toast.
did a
Yeah.
toast on.
Yeah.
Oh,
on
I saw
air.
that. I was wondering
Yeah.
what beer
Yeah.
that was.
Hellbent, yeah.
Nice.
Best
And,
IPA.
Yeah, that's not me.
He's like, hey, while we're talking about this, you guys want to make some enemies real quick?
Yeah, so I didn't do a ton of drinking because I did a ton of talking.
Yeah, he was working
But
hard.
structures came to play.
They
Yeah, they
did.
weren't fucking
Yeah,
around.
structures.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that orange
Yes.
sour smoothie
That was
was
so
the best
good.
beer.
A
of the
smoothie from
Was it called
Structures?
Orange
It was-
Pop? Was it push?
it was the best beer,
What was
I
it
thought.
called? I don't know.
Damn.
They also had a imperial bourbon.
That was my favorite.
Oh, yeah,
beer.
they weren't
It
fucking
was,
around.
it was no, and it was a little hot. So
I loved it.
Yeah.
That was my
It was
favorite.
delicious.
of
Also,
the festival.
2022 Holy Mountain Midnight Still
That was there.
Jesus.
The structures, in my
Christ.
opinion, beat the
Yeah.
still. That's just
All right.
me.
Yeah.
That's just me. But yeah, it was good. It was really good. Bazaar had a really good barley wine also. That was delicious.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean everything was great. Everything I tried was really, really good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
and the
fun.
wrestling was a good addition.
It was.
Tell
Dude,
us about the
I
wrestling.
mean, it was
Yeah,
it was
I'm like-
definitely something to watch. Watch them set it up, then watch
Yeah,
them
they-
perform. Watch them head to the the fountain and fight.
Dude, that was
This
fucking
is-
hilarious.
This is new
I
as
missed
of this
that.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was I? I missed.
I don't know, but I followed him down.
You were, I saw your video.
I missed that completely. I don't know.
Phaedra, you were
I
three
was-
barley wines deep.
I was maybe. I don't know. I thought I kept it together. I don't know.
It was pretty fun.
I was, tracking down
Well, yeah, super proud of you
lost
guys.
taster glasses.
The-
and
very
yeah.
well ran.
The interviews were so good. Like, you guys did a great job.
Super fun. Yeah, they were, all the breweries were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was game for it. Really,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
pretty great.
No
yeah,
one's-
yeah.
You know,
They'd all been
forget-
drinking.
Well, no.
No?
When
you
you're
can't really
pouring,
do
you're
that.
not
That's
really-
right.
yeah,
They
like,
can't
Yeah,
afford to do it.
Yep.
They were. for the
My
most
bad.
Can get away with that down in California,
My
but
bad. You can?
yeah, dude. Every brewer just fucking takes a whole lap. They walk behind the tents. And like, hey, we're over from here. We just wanted to sneak a pour of this, and
Yep.
you just give them a pour of that.
Festivals used to be like that here too.
Yeah.
Back in the
Wow,
good old
interesting.
days.
Yeah.
I've worked many festivals doing that.
I mean, you could probably still get away with it, but the Liquor Control Board is.
So you're
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
in California
Background.
it's legal.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Just saying, that's what
that's
happened.
what we did.
All right.
And I'm not from there, so.
Washington's.
You know, when you're drinking, it seems like everyone else is, whether they are or not. So, you
Maybe
know,
that's true. That's how you justify it to yourself.
You're so true.
No, we're all being crazy, right? Are we?
Everyone's
not so
doing
much. I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Kudos to Shauna and the Washington Brewers Guild. It was well.
Yeah,
done.
it was. It was.
Yeah.
They did a nice job. Yeah.
Their
Great job.
promotions, everything, like
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
killing it.
And I liked the DJ. That was fun.
Right. No bands.
The highlight was Ron dancing and singing to Juicy Fruit. That was the night. That was the totally. There's no
Awesome.
video, none, no proof whatsoever.
Somebody got something.
I know what
Get the fuck
happened
outta
because it's
here.
right here
I
forever.
mean, because it's juicy fruit.
Because it is. Chris is like, what? And I'm like, come on.
I don't know it.
Well, that's because you're young.
I'm like dancing. And Ron's like,
We're like the
Chris
young
is
ones
like,
back then?
what?
I don't think you. I'll take it.
Sure.
And big shout out to Chris and videotaping
Yes,
the whole thing.
all of it.
because
Yeah, he was the MVP
He put up with a
for
lot of
sure.
stuff from me, and
Do this. Now do this. No, not like that. Like this.
It was good. It was a good time. Yeah, it was fun.
Any fuck ups while you guys were there?
All right, Grit and Grainers, I'm Sean Jackson, and I fuck up all the God-blessed time, as we all do. So, please do regale us with your fuck-up stories.
Other than lost taster
yeah.
glasses.
I left my taster glass at 5 booths.
Damn.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Phaedra would
Phaedra,
go and
can you
find
go
them.
back and
That
get
sounds
my...
pretty on brand for you.
For sure.
Didn't you leave your tree at
then
every
this-
brewery you
Yeah.
stopped at for your thing?
There'd be just a taster glass. I go, oh, this is Ron's. Here, I'll go get it.
How do you know? Because I know.
Because I know. It is. It's a thing.
Phaedra, did you fuck up at all down at Firestone?
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I didn't even fight with my husband, so that was pretty good too.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
Bethany? Any fuck-ups? Because it's going to be Matt if you don't have one.
Oh, yeah.
And Matt has
Did
them.
I?
We tried to migrate all of our accounting information from this with the Funk Busters. We tried to migrate within QuickBooks. Have I already talked about this on the pod?
No.
Okay, Greer said I didn't. I know. I probably
don't think you have.
individually
To us
talked to you.
individually.
But
Yeah,
I'm
we're-
sweating right now just thinking
So
about
all of our accounting was they assured us would migrate properly to this upgrade within QuickBooks. And spoiler alert, it did not migrate properly.
No.
17 plus hours on the phone with customer service to no resolution. Do not use QuickBooks. I know it is the biggest accounting software out there. It fucking blows. And if you need any customer service, you're fucked.
Dude,
All right?
that's,
So,
I'm like, I'm also
we've-
just sweating listening to
This
this.
is in the last
I'm
like
so
6
nervous.
weeks of our life. We've just now migrated to FreshBooks, had to pay a bunch of money for them to migrate to FreshBooks, and things are looking a little more fresh. They're looking better. I still have a lot of work to do, but so it's not really my fuck up, but like, don't mess with QuickBooks.
Just sounds
when you were
17
gone-
hours is not quick.
No,
Please.
not even
Yeah.
quick.
It's a slow
my
book.
God. And you cannot get to anybody. You can't get
That
anybody to
I
solve
hate.
your problem.
I hate when you
And-
can't get to a
And you have a
person
new
or-
person every time, and you have to fill
Yeah.
them in on every
Yeah.
little thing. And they're like, "Have you tried this? Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Well, let's just try it. No,
We just did
I've
that.
been doing.
I
This.
did that
Look
5
at my
per people
collar.
Stephanie told me to do that 16 minutes ago, and we did it.
Did they create a
God, I hate
candidate
that.
the other ones could refer to? None of that.
Yeah, but I mean, but it didn't. It didn't
work.
matter. It didn't matter.
That's too bad.
That sucks.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
Well,
That's
when you were
cool.
gone, Greer was at peaks with his computer, slapping his head and slapping the computer, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I have no fuck ups that even come close to that.
I don't.
I was expecting a lot from the festivals, and no.
Man, I took it
Okay.
so fucking easy.
I
Yeah.
did.
Talking
I-
shit to the guy who brewed Tipo Pills is probably the closest that I came. Because if he ever sees me again, that's all he's going to remember. Is me talking shit.
Talking shit.
But like, I can't let it go.
I mean, at the after party, I drank water. That's a fuck up.
That was, yeah. Dude, there was
true.
Hetty was on tap at the after party.
I'm
and
telling
drank
you.
water.
So that is a fuck up.
Hetty
because
was
I
on
just
tap in the truck.
I didn't have it in me. It was too hot, and I just. Yeah, so I just didn't have.
All right. Well, better luck next year.
Next year,
Drinking the shitty
only if
water.
I can get. Only if I get lucky.
I did. This isn't a fuck up. This is just me complaining out loud. I did definitely say hi to some brewers that I know who I am and pretended like they didn't know who I was. And I was like, this is embarrassing. I don't want to have this interaction anymore. But like, I also know why they did it. So I was just like, all right. Well, anyway,
Why?
because it's just I can't be. They might listen to this.
It's like I'm not saying.
They actually might listen to this.
Because that's where the fuck up is.
No, it is. It's yeah. I
is.
definitely talked to some people who I know who I am and definitely pretended like they didn't. Wow. Yeah. But
I also enjoyed seeing Washington people down there. That was cool. I mean, Bellbreaker and Single Hill and Cloudburst was there, and yeah, just seeing familiar faces and getting that recognition or invitation or whatever to be down there. I thought was really, really cool.
we need to get a Tacoma brewery down there.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
that'd be great.
Long game.
Yeah, I like it.
Step it up, Tacoma.
Podcast whisperer.
what
All
I
right, Grit and Grainers. Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and beer news, such as Silver City, who drenched Kitsap in tropic haze, who gave us Old Scrooge like a caramel slicked fever dream, got scooped up by a bigger, shinier Seattle thing with portfolio synergy and brand stewardship in its deck. Raise a pint, wary drinker, because of World Beer Cup winning Rich Top Red and the toast to the end of an era that might taste exactly the same. We read and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as fast as we can. If not online, then on air. You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253 and gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for episode notes, beer news, and recaps of the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Festival 2025's Grand Bakuna what? I don't even know what I wrote. Of barley wine, yeast, and sunburn, once again unfurling the sudsy magic beneath the molten Paso Robles sun like some some fever dream with a VIP lantern. A curated avalanche of gold descended upon the Central Coast idol. 65 plus breweries, world straddling, hop slinging, soul singing, brought their own rarest, weirdest, most orgasmic. Thanks for the Firestone Walker, Phaedra.
You're welcome.
Most orgasmic offerings. Garage project for New Zealand, conjured up flavors like interdimensional alchemy. Open from Denmark, delivered divine funk. Meanwhile, Green Cheek Beer, SoCal's tireless rock star Reveille, secured its third consecutive People's Choice crown with the smug grin of a brewery that just gets it. Attendees, sun-drenched, blissed out, half fermented by 1 p.m., glided from tent to tent like honeybees on a hallucinogenic pollen mission. It wasn't just beer, darling. It was a ceremony, a sacrament, a sweaty communion of palate, palace, and purpose. Meanwhile, under the scattered canopies of crowded lawn chairs, stories were swapped, souls were hydrated, and yes, Italian brewing legend Agostino Arioli philosophized about malt like a sud-soaked oracle and crying after the being beat by Matt. If this podcast is not what you expected, please alter expectations.
Yes.
The Firestone Walker team captured it all in a swoony official video, slow-mo pours, beer hugs, festival ecstasy, reminding us once again, this isn't just beer. It's a church. It's a jazz. It's like a damn miracle in a tasting glass. No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma.
Fuck no.
No such thing as too much barley wine. Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter and fuck-ups. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Get up.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Move to Tacoma, Interchangeable White Ladies, What Say You, Citizen Tacoma, and Kitchen 253.
This is Channel 253.